given all this talk of evolution, what the evolutionary process is up to, I mean, I think it's interesting to ask this question. Why on earth should there be an evolutionary process at all? Okay, could it have been otherwise? Okay, well, as far as we know, certainly evolution is the only way to have intelligent life, a world, a cosmos of any kind, resembling our own. Okay, and what we've learned certainly from the sciences is that evolution transcends the domains of mere biology. Okay, Homo sapiens have grown out of the Earth. The Earth has grown out of the Milky Way out of the cosmos, out of the whole, the cosmos as a whole, and who knows what the cosmos has grown out of? The mind of God, something else. Okay, imaginative extension. So these advances in cosmology have really revealed the ways in which evolution is this grand meta-narrative of cosmic history. But how grand is it? Okay, I'd like to end with thinking about this a little bit. Okay, so our dominant cosmological model, for those science buffs, is entrenched still in the Big Bang, which has this notion that the universe began some 13.8 billion years. Okay, the notion of beginning is a tough one, of course. Okay, the idea is that from this initial singularity, the universe expands, it cools, it evolves into this utter plethora of planetary habitats. Okay, and some, perhaps many, I would hope, are amenable to the evolution of biodiversity, to the advent of conscious intelligence. As a side note, the Center for Process Studies is running an astrobiology conference, Astro and Process Conference in December in Salem. If you're there, stay tuned for more information. But it's precisely asking this question of life beyond Earth and the relevance of process style thinking, process theology to that. That's a side note. Okay, but this incredible Big Bang portrait that we're given, but is this an absolute beginning? Okay, it could be. We're free to follow the evidence where it leads, and cosmologists do not at all agree on this. One thing to say for process thinkers is that it's fully conceivable that this cosmic evolutionary activity never had an absolute beginning. Okay, this activity, it may just be the metaphysical condition of the universe, which is infinite in its temporal becoming. Now, this is a very large claim. So Whitehead was writing prior to the advent of Big Bang cosmology, and this seems to be his view. Okay, he follows these intuitions of Plato, of Aristotle, in saying that the creation of the world is the incoming of a type of order, and not the beginning of finite matter of fact. Right? This is where he's pointing to order. He's pointing to novelty as being issues. He's not necessarily saying there has to be an absolute beginning to the world. Okay, H. Johnson was a colleague of Whitehead, a friend. He says Whitehead suggests that in all probability there was no first day of creation. Okay, the self-creative process of actual entities is occurring now. It did in the past, and it's likely to continue in the future. Whitehead seems to believe, according to Johnson, that as far as we can tell, the metaphysical situation has always been as it is now. An endless, infinite process of unfolding that is taking place. So Whitehead used the language of a series of cosmic epochs. Okay, now this doesn't mean that process thinkers deny the Big Bang necessarily. What they tend to do, again, they disagree. We can't speak for any one of them. What they tend to do is situate Big Bang within a much vaster cosmic evolution. Okay, where there is no absolute beginning. There's only beginnings. There's only endings. There's no absolute beginning. There's no absolute ending to the cosmic evolutionary process. So Whitehead therefore speaks of our particular cosmic epoch, right? Which according to most interpreters emerged and it's going to pass away, only to be followed by yet another cosmic epoch. So what we get then, as we draw ourselves to a close, we raise some questions, is that if this evolutionary process is primordial, it means that there's a sense in which primordial time is a reality. We have recent physicists arguing for this, that time is a fundamental place and doesn't necessarily just come into being, right? Very controversial claim, but it seems to be what Whitehead is saying, okay? It can be said that our particular cosmic epoch did have a beginning in the so-called Big Bang, but for Whitehead, this evolutionary process of actual entities, of actual occasions, is prior to, it's metaphysically necessary as a feature to any and all the cosmic epochs. Okay, And this way, time, it has this potentially this primordial foothold, right? No absolute beginning, no absolute end, only finite beginnings and finite ends. Okay.